What's up? This is Philly versus Everybody 2.0, the video version. I'm
We
JT.
back.
I'm John.
Malcolm, we back in the building.
We're back. You guys missed us?
We back.
Anyway, we're here. We're in our respective bunkers.
Cheers from the
Got
bunker.
takes y'all been missing.
Shout out Bay Cities. Shout out Silver Bullets.
Shout out Hennessy.
Hey, yo, shout out Shangy's, Emmaus, Pennsylvania.
Nice. As Jack Redacted would say about a Silver Bullet, you can drink 30 or 40 of these and not even get drunk. So I kind of agree.
Who the hell gets drunk off a beer?
A
lot has happened since the last time that we recorded.
Something particularly egregious, too.
Yeah, a lot has happened since the Eagles have fell apart like a paper boat in water.
Finished 4-11-1 on the season, and
more embarrassing than Chip Kelly's demise.
I don't think anybody thought it would be that bad. I didn't think it would be that bad. I thought at worst we might go like 6-9 or 6-8-1.
I mean, I thought we were going to be pretty bad, but I will say
games.
The way that the tank game at the end backfired with all the players kind of hating Doug, that hurt a little bit.
Yeah, so the Eagles,
like, you always knew that could happen, but
and it was reported that his job was safe going into that Week 17 game. It was reported that he was going to be back, but then apparently when he pulled Hurts, I think.
They backtracked, reported on that too. They were like, well, it wasn't necessarily safe. Lurie still had to hear his plan before he was going to decide. But that also feels like some dumb Howie shit because he leaked other stuff after.
Yeah, we'll get Lurie Howie is it's bad news, man. It's until we break that up, the Eagles are going to have some pretty rough years ahead of them.
Are we honestly surprised that 3 years removed from winning the Super Bowl, the Eagles just like failed to stick the landing like this?
Yes, it's shocking.
Yeah.
To be this bad, yes.
We're this bad. We're not just like mediocre. Last year we barely won the division. Carson Wentz got taken out in the playoff game on a dirty hit. Like
Josh McCown died for that Eagles shit, tearing both hamstrings.
Yeah, Josh McCown. Oh, wow, all that was I mean, here's the thing. Until we get rid of this because what's concerning for me is all the reports about the relationship between Lurie and Howie. And how they just seem to be kind of attached at the hip. And it's like, look, Howie is is one of the worst drafters that we've seen maybe ever. I mean, maybe ever.
Him or Andy. Like, Andy was pretty bad too.
I feel like you have to even go across sports. Like, I feel like he's approaching like Billy King levels.
Phillies levels the most recent years.
But if the owner is like attached to this guy and he's this hero to the point that you're firing the Super Bowl winning coach who has a fucking statue outside the stadium, I don't know. I think we're the new Browns.
The coach-quarterback relationship is so important in the NFL. It was reported that like Wentz and Doug weren't getting along. Obviously, they benched Wentz for the last 5 games or 4 games of the season. So, I mean, from the ownership Howie perspective, they were like, all right, so we have a coach who won us a Super Bowl, but like really doesn't have the support of the rest of the coaching staff in the locker room after what he did in Week 17. And we have a quarterback who we just signed to a 5-year huge fucking extension. So
this other quarterback we just drafted in the 2nd round.
Yeah, which you didn't need to do, but you did. It's just so fucking obnoxious. The whole thing is aimless. Lurie is short-sighted. Howie is short-sighted.
They put Wentz and kind of everybody in a pretty shitty position. So
they didn't even need to sign him to that extension yet. They could have waited, but they didn't want to because they were afraid Dak was going to get some huge contract. Well, Dak's ankle doesn't exist anymore, so he didn't get that contract. And now we're stuck with fucking choir boy being a bitch.
Yeah.
Bible study Cutler.
I'll let you get to your rant in just a second, but I want to address this because I obviously have of the 3 of us, I have been probably the biggest Carson Wentz advocate.
Probably.
Top 3.
Probably.
Wentz top 3. I have been obviously very severely disappointed by Carson Wentz's play this season, but I was even more disappointed by the reports that Carson wanted to be traded. Whether it was him or whatever, how it got leaked, it doesn't matter, because the guy played like shit the whole year, and he got benched for 4 games at the end of a season that didn't matter, and he's got like something like 6 playoff snaps over 5 years or whatever. And I was just pissed that he was so quick to be like, yeah, I want out. I want fucking out of here because I can't, that's a speed bump, bro. We signed you to a 5-year extension.
It hasn't even started.
You played like Duke.
Well,
for 4 games.
We'll get to this part. We'll get to this part too. But that article in the Inquirer today about how Wentz is uncoachable. He just purposely would kill calls at the line because he didn't want to call Doug's plays. It's like
he's so soft.
Apparently, veteran teammates told the reporter, I think it was Jeff McClain, but I could be wrong, that Wentz doesn't think he cost them games this year. He doesn't believe he was the reason they lost. And they're like, until he accepts that, he can't be coached. Yeah, apparently he's uncoachable.
He benched your ass and put in Hurts, and then we started winning games. Then
not even winning. They just were a football team again. They could play offense.
Yeah, they could actually move
the ball like
down, score.
Man, I still want to trade him, man. I still want to trade him. You obviously have to wait until we get a coach in here because you have to have the coach,
Of course.
If
somewhat be a part of that decision, but
in my opinion, regardless of how he played this season, the fact that he lacks any kind of mental toughness in wanting to get traded after being benched for just 4 games, like, bro, this organization has been behind you since you were drafted. We moved up to draft you. We traded Foles, the Super Bowl MVP. We gave you this huge extension. The fan base has been behind him. He's been the guy. And this is the first real speed bump that he's experienced in his entire professional career. And he wants out? That is some baby back bitch shit. Philadelphia demands more toughness from their athletes than that. So I don't give a fuck how many
100% agree.
Yeah, and when he was Aaron Jones is buffing a huge run here. Jesus Christ, he's good.
But like,
fuck.
But like,
I agree.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can't survive this town if you have no mental fortitude. Like, it's not going to work
for years.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like what pisses me off is how short-sighted Jeffrey Lurie is, just sticking by Howie Roseman right now when Howie has proven to not be that good. Yeah, he hit 1 year. And you can't take that away from him. But look, they get. And this is no shade to Andy. We all love Andy. Everybody loves Andy. It's just look at it historically. Andy had 14 years to do something. He got there once, didn't win it. Doug did it in his second year and has had a Duke quarterback every other year because Wentz has never been good except for 13 games. And every time they put him in the backup.
Different, though.
I know it's a little different, but still, he did it. And Andy didn't ever do it. And look, it took Andy 20 years, and it took Andy, Patrick Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce playing Jimmy Garoppolo, and Kyle Shanahan, who's a known loser. Doug beat Brady with Foles, and he beat Belichick. And it just the team has been thirsting for this Super Bowl forever, and you fire the guy, and you stick by Howie, who has proven under with Chip Kelly didn't work, and you can't draft, and it's just ridiculous to me. I'm not saying they had to keep Doug, but if you fire Doug, you have to fire
Chip
Howie.
Kelly did draft some good players, as much as I hate
Yeah, Chip might have drafted some good players, but Howie just sucks, and it just pisses me off. And then Frank Reich, he's never won a fucking playoff game. Like, I just can't handle how tying yourself to Roseman just pisses me off because he just has proven he's not the dude to do it.
Roseman's a fucking clown. He needs to be fired.
And like you said, they're dooming the team, and it's not even just because it's Doug, because now they're going to do one of something. They're interviewing Josh McDaniels, which is going to be fucking stupid. I hope they don't hire him. They're treating Deuce Staley like a piece of shit, just dragging him along. It feels like Deuce is like the backup plan. Like, well, if we don't get the guy we want, we know we can hire Deuce. Deuce is staying on.
I think Deuce ends up the OC. I think Deuce ends up the OC.
I hope at least that.
regardless.
But Deuce has stayed on the team through 3. He's been there with Andy, Chip, and Doug. He clearly brings something to the table. He was interviewed for his alma mater at South Carolina and stayed with the Eagles. He deserves real respect, not to be the backup fucking decision.
But does that mean that he's a viable head
I agree.
coach?
But at the same time, do you want to subject Deuce to being the tank coach essentially? Because these next 5 years are going to be bad regardless.
If you tell Deuce, hey, we're going to stick with you because we think you have the leadership and we're going to build around you, because Brandon Graham and there was another active player today, both said they want Deuce to be the coach. And
I think
Rodney McLeod said it, and Malcolm Jenkins even said it.
If they're thinking that long term with Deuce, then I would say you make him the OC first for a year or two, and then with the plan being in year 3 you become the head coach, because you don't want to hand him a team that's gonna we might win 3 games next year.
I don't
I can see that argument, but
I don't think that we're gonna be terrible for the next 5 years, because think about the O-line issues that we had this year. Lane Johnson missed a bunch of games. Fucking we
I know we were hurt, but we need to draft well. I mean, we have this 6th pick. I'm of the opinion we should trade back a few picks and get a couple more picks.
But it's like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't with the draft, because it's like, oh, you have a 6th pick, that's great, but Howie will blow it. If you trade back and get more picks, it's more picks for Howie to blow. It's just Howie making the picks sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, I agree with you.
I just want to say one thing to respond to your rant, because I agree Doug Peterson shouldn't have been fired. I don't think he is the proper scapegoat for what's happened to the Eagles, but Andy Reid is a football scientist, and you see, he's perfected his shit now in KC, and he's fucking unstoppable. I understand he has some good players. He has some good players, but they're players that he drafted or sought out specifically, and he's running the exact same system that he ran here for years.
No, it's no disrespect to Andy, because Andy is one of the best coaches of all time, and that's undoubtable. I'm just saying the leash they gave Andy, and they didn't even let Doug pick his own coaches. That shit is so fucked. The guy won the goddamn Super Bowl. Let him pick a coach.
No, when they didn't give him control over his coaches, I mean that right away, because I was listening to Ike Reese and he said this, so I'm going to repeat this. But I mean that right there tells you that they don't believe the head coach was an essential element to them winning the Super Bowl. Right. They really think it was Howie Roseman that
Howie was the reason we won the Super Bowl. Howie was the Super.
It's crazy.
And that is the poison in the organization, thinking that he's the reason.
Right.
Well, so
it's
now
ridiculous.
Redacted. Here's the good thing, right?
Yeah.
Doug is out. So if like Malcolm said, if we win 3 games next year, it's on Howie.
Howie's going.
Yeah,
then going after that.
It doesn't matter who we hire. If we draft like shit again, if we don't make any good free agency signings, and if we have another, which by the way, this is inevitable, because look at how we're going to be over. Look, $63 million over the cap, and that's if we don't trade Carson.
Dude,
if we're bad next year, there is no excuse. Lurie is we're gonna be so bad by then, and
we will absolutely be bad next year. So there's not a question.
We have to let, I think, it dissolve even further if Howie's gonna get out of here, because he's so him and Lurie are like this, they're butt buddies.
Well, there's 2 things I was gonna say. The cap situation
is clear that culturally, after we won the Super Bowl, there was the Howie Lurie element, and then there was Doug. And it's like you said, they didn't think that Doug and the head coach was an essential part of winning the Super Bowl for some reason. So I mean, even though it's shitty, this is my look on it. If Doug was trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, then and if there's no changing the shape of the hole, if that shit's not going to become a square hole, then we got to just go find a round peg. You know what I mean? That seems to be the decision they made. So maybe I like Bieniemy. If we go get Eric Bieniemy from KC and then make Deuce the OC, and if we have a healthy, at least decently consistent O-line, because you got to remember, Lane missed a bunch.
Yeah, and we have pieces. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, man. I'm such a hopeless romantic for the Eagles.
We have Miles Sanders.
I don't know. I'm still gonna watch.
Deuce being
the
OC.
Miles Sanders, exactly.
Deuce being the OC for his former backup. That's fucked.
Who? Bieniemy?
Bieniemy played for the Eagles in '99 with Doug.
Huh. That's hilarious.
So they would hire Andy's most recent offensive coordinators 2 times in a row. Both played under Andy in '99.
That sounds like a recipe,
Just
man.
go fucking hire
I'm not
Andy
mad at
again.
Recipe. That sounds like a recipe to me. But like,
I was just
I'm
gonna
with
say,
it.
the Eagles cap situation is so bad.
Plus, who
I
cares,
have
man?
to
I'm
be mad.
about to
You can't
stop
even-
watching football altogether.
You can't even play as the Eagles in the next year because their cap situation is so bad. You have to cut everybody to get under the cap.
Right. So that's why, and they looked at it from a dollars and cents perspective, and they were like, we're already so fucked in terms of cap space. If we try and trade Wentz, we're going to have to take like $30 million in dead money. So they were like, well, we're not doing that.
Yeah, well, who put you in that fucked up cap space?
If it's Wentz or Doug.
Exactly.
Right. No, your point has been fucking made. Everybody knows it, redacted for sure. But I at least, like you said, Malk, I at least still hold out a little hope that like maybe if our O-line was a huge, I mean, football is football. It's won and lost in the trenches still. Like as good as Mahomes is, as good as a lot of these dudes, Aaron Jones is so good because the Packers have a great O-line. They're not like
in the NFL. The NFL is the kind of league where the separation between the best and worst team is not as wide as it is in like the NBA, for example.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, you can turn it around quickly, but
yeah, NBA
we just seem our organization just seems to be fundamentally like dysfunctional right now.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm basing it off of.
In that way, we are the Browns. In that we're an organizationally dysfunctional team, top down. And like Howie was reporting that like JJ Arcega-Whiteside was drafted because Lurie liked him. And regardless of whether that's true or not, the fact that that report came out makes us a joke of a franchise.
No, yeah, Howie's just trying to leak shit to make himself look better.
The owner decided who you drafted.
He also said that coaching wanted Rager, but if it was his choice, he would have picked Justin Jefferson. Howie, you have final say on the roster.
That's bullshit. Right. Howie's been with the team for 20 years. If he wanted to draft Justin Jefferson, he would have fucking done it. Yep. Howie Roseman is a power-hungry, angry little man.
He is little.
He just seems like, you know, he's had this chip on his shoulder for so many years. Like that pun, chip on his shoulder. But like when the chip shit was going down, he must not have been happy about that when Lurie gave Chip Kelly the keys. So when Howie came back, he probably came back with a vengeance. And then
you heard Jason Kelce?
2 years removed from that, we won the Super Bowl. Like
I didn't even see him for a year.
Yeah, of course he came out of that room a different man.
A hungry dog.
But I think the coaching decision that we have ahead of us is a very important one because, like you said, if we get Josh McDaniels, we're gonna fucking suck. If we get somebody who's like offensively, well, it was reported that Doug didn't want to be pushed around anymore. He was tired of being told what to do.
Why should he?
It's clearly
right.
the outrage.
Like I won y'all the only Super Bowl y'all have ever won.
Right.
With Nick fucking Foles, bro.
With Nick Foles.
Imagine
like we would not have won the Super Bowl without.
Like what are y'all talking about? Get out of my office.
Imagine Doug's screen game with McNabb. McNabb was a master screen thrower.
But I mean, there's no question about
Carson wants to audible out of the screen so he can throw a fucking Hail Mary.
Or he can just play like fullback.
Right.
Trade Carson and Ertz for a middle linebacker. Hand the keys to Jalen Hurts, man. I'm sick of this.
So many like 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 situations where Carson just like threw the ball 30, 40 yards down the sideline and like no chance of that play being a success. And I'm sitting here going, why the fuck did Doug call that play? Well, it turns out he didn't. And Wentz, he's trying to be this gunslinger, except he sucks. Carson Wentz sucks.
Carson is really like this is what Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite was like when he was like 25. Bro. This is what it would have looked like.
Think I can hit them mountains over yonder?
Yeah, like that's oh my god, this dude is just like
what we need is
remedial. He is remedial.
And tell Carson Wentz, you run the fucking plays that I call, or I'm gonna bench your ass for Hurts. I bet if it was Doug's decision, Hurts would have been in the game a lot earlier in the season. I bet he would have benched Wentz a lot earlier. But that's
probably
element. That's the brain trust element.
I mean, if it was my decision, once you draft a dude in the 2nd round, it's kind of up for grabs because
we're a QB. Like, what kind of bullshit?
I've been saying this for a long time, but I hadn't seen Carson play well since the year we won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So, you know, as soon as you draft a quarterback in the second round.
Yeah, make no question. Doug Peterson is the greatest Eagles coach ever. Ever.
Doug is interviewing for the Seahawks offensive coordinator job.
I hope he gets it. I hope he gets it.
I hope him and Russ run shit, and then he gets another job and is a good head coach somewhere else.
I hope he gets a chance to play with a real team and a real fucking good
Doug and I are from the same home
He's a
state.
Super Bowl winning coach. He will get a job. Don't worry. Unlike Brett Brown, who's never getting a job again.
Yeah, he lost that Australia coaching job too.
Well, we'll see. It remains to be seen. Should we move on to the rest of the NFL and talk about some of these playoffs and get our guest on here?
Yeah, we should get our guest.
It won't remain to be seen. Brett Brown will never be an NBA head coach again, ever.
Oh, I meant with the Eagles. No, Brett.
I'm gonna get beer.
Brett's a coaching free agent. He's out there.
Yeah, he's gonna stay out there.
Well, we'll get to that. So this Rams-Packers game is on right now as we're recording. It looks like the Packers are going to run away with it. So I wasted a little money on the Rams money line, but that's fine. The Rams are such frauds, man. The Rams are such frauds. Sean McVay is not a good coach.
Well, yes. Well, they're kind of
only
frauds.
One team in Los Angeles worth trusting, and that's the Lakers.
Goff is booty also.
Goff is booty.
Goff is bad.
So the Packers run away with that. What else we got? Later tonight, we got the Ravens
and Bills.
And we got a guest who's on to talk about that. But first, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns.
Steamers?
Or as I like to call them, the Cleveland Steamers. They won a playoff game.
Woo!
They got playoffs for the first time in 25 years.
Holy shit. Another big run by the Packers.
The Browns beat the Steelers, their division rival, the team who's been beating them twice a year for older than we are. Like,
dude.
The Browns' success, which was accurately called on this podcast, by the way.
It was.
True. Also,
I'm down with the Browns. I really am.
Did you see Roethlisberger's line? That's like me playing in Madden. It was like 548 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 picks. It was like some ridiculous shit.
The one was a tip.
Damn, the Rams are getting smoked, huh?
Is that what he said in court too? It's just a tip.
Ooh.
Wow.
Big rate.
Anyway, the Browns play the Chiefs, the hottest team. Here's the thing. Are the Browns going to beat the Chiefs? Probably not. No. Do the Browns have a chance to give the Chiefs a run for their money a little bit?
I think it'll be an entertaining first half.
I think it'll be an entertaining first half. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think Baker might score a touchdown or two, and then the Chiefs are going to be like, okay, go to bed now.
And honestly, good for Baker. Yeah. By the way, last week when they beat the Steelers, that was Baker Mayfield's first playoff game in his career. You know, how many quarterbacks won their first playoff game? I think the list is like less than a dozen or something. So shout out
friend of the pod, not JT for your team finally winning. You should probably try attending a home game in Cleveland at some point, but at least they won.
Foot in Cleveland.
Dog pound.
Overthrow.
Yeah, my buddy who's a big Browns fan, he refuses to come on this podcast because he's a ghost. And I'm like, if you're not willing to publicly like talk some shit about your football team, then you're not a fan of said football team. That's my opinion.
Also, Rodgers is just too good.
I said Carson Wentz was a top
3 quarterback
in the NFL going into this season. He was the 35th best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, he was the worst. And Wentz would have been sacked.
He was the worst quarterback in the NFL this year.
And look, I'm here owning that shit because I was fucking wrong. But like I said, regardless of that, Wentz is a baby back bitch, which is the shit that I just can't stand. If you're terrible and you're like, look, I'm terrible, I need to be better, and I will be better, and I'm tough as nails, and I'm going to fucking do that shit, that's one thing. But when you're like, oh, I want to get traded.
Yeah, it's too hard. They're being mean.
I want to go back to Frank. Frank was nicer to me. And you know the other thing? One last thing that
I didn't know there were this many Muslims in Philadelphia.
Is Doug, they were going to fire Frank Reich, and Doug stood up for him to keep his job after 2016.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and how do you not listen to the coach? To the coach who just won it for you.
Exactly. All right. Is there somebody from...
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to the team that fucking matters, yo.
Well, not yet. We got a guest. Oh,
do we?
Talk about
from Baltimore
tonight.
Let's go, guest.
We got to rate. It's our buddy. It's our buddy
Big Pete.
Get Pete on. All right, let's get Pete in this shit. Talk about some Lamar Jackson.
Oh, there's Big Pete.
Pete.
Wow, you're frozen immediately.
I hear you.
Pete, what's good?
Hold on. Oh, I can hear you now. What's up? Sorry, that was such a grandpa thing to do.
Your camera's sideways. Turn it.
I'm fucking. Well, I'm on my phone.
Yeah, turn it horizontally. There you go.
And not upside down, idiot.
I'm
Where's
not.
the
Yeah, now you're upside down.
Yeah, flip it the other way. You're upside down.
Look upside
That's
down.
the right way.
All right, there we go.
Did it flip? It's good.
Yo, where's the Evan?
Maybe your guys' computers are fucking upside down. You know
Where's the Evan, yo? Hit the Evan.
Yeah, where's Uncle
I'm
Ed?
on the Ronas.
I don't think it's that, man.
The Ravens led the league in coronavirus this year, so I'm drinking Corona today.
Did they really?
Yeah, I got some prop bets for you guys if you want to hear them.
Yeah, let's hear him.
Yeah. Of course.
And then quickly, please tell us why Lamar Jackson's going to prove why he's better than Josh Allen from that draft class.
Wow.
Yeah, give us your unbiased prediction for the game.
Yes, of course. So my prop bets today, I'll start with, let's see, I got Mark Andrews, more receptions head-to-head with Cole Beasley, like plus 230. Just fuck Cole Beasley. He's going to come across the middle on a quick slant once. He's going to get tattooed by Ravens. That's an aggressive one. Oh, shit.
Talking like Ray Lewis
are you guys
walking through
watching
that
this
door.
game?
I don't like that bet at all.
Oh, I'm
Fuck
just
Cole
getting
Beasley,
started.
that rat.
Yeah, no, that's my roughest.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs led the
Relax,
league
that's
in
my roughest bet.
receiving.
I'm starting. Relax.
Say.
Stephon Diggs is from Baltimore. Relax. All right. Second, I got Lamar over 1.5 tutties, which pairs
That doesn't
nicely.
sound promising for y'all. I'm not gonna lie. People usually ball out against their hometown team.
I agree. I'm not stoked about Stephon either.
Over 1.5 touchdowns?
Total?
Yes. Plus, pick 'em. Easy
Are
money.
there good odds on that? Over 1.5?
It was like pick 'em. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, because we run the ball like a fuck ton. And Gus Bus can get carries on a goal line and shit like that. And then my favorite bet of the day, Willie Snead to have a tutty plus 400. Sneaky Willie, dude. Easy money on the goal line. Put him in motion.
Plus 400?
Plus 400. Willie Snead.
Willie does like to score.
Lock it in. He will have 2 receptions for 19 yards and a tutty. He will be.
I'm going to hit that.
Okay, Pete, we're going to need 2 things from you. We need your take on tonight's game, and then we need your general take on why the Wizards are ass and Bradley Beal scored 60 points and still lost.
3?
I think Russ is sitting now, right? Oh, so okay. So I think today it is snowing. It's snowing right now. Well, if you guys have looked at the weather, Hover channel. Snow.
Well, I mean, that's good for Lamar.
I think
he likes
that
to
kind
run
of
the
plays
cold.
to the Vens.
Is the game in Buffalo?
Yeah,
or
I think Willie Snead.
Buffalo, yeah, they're the 2 seed.
No, it's in Buffalo. I think Willie Snead catches better in the cold. He's used to it. You know, he had a lot of time in the dome, so he's warmed up since then. So he's ready for the cold, and I think he's gonna have a great day. I think Lamar, I don't think he's gonna have as much of a rushing day as people think, but I think we're gonna hit Hollywood on a lot of play action, money down the field, and honestly, I think the Ravens D showed out last week, so they're gonna fucking. Dude, I cannot wait for Marcus Peters to risk it all.
I got Willie Snead plus 600 to score a touchdown.
Oh.
I'm putting $50 on that right now.
Interesting.
It went up. See? People have no. Dude, I'm telling you. Snead. The need for Snead, 600 now.
The need
Me and my
for
buddy took it for
Snead.
400.
JT and I have a wager going too.
Snead.
That's right. We put $50 on it. I think the Bills. I'm riding Buffalo.
Just outright win. I got Vens.
Okay.
He's got Bills.
I want to see the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl this year.
What does Malcolm have? What does Malcolm have?
Malcolm, you got.
He's probably in on the Bills.
What's up? I don't gamble on. I don't gamble.
No, but who do you want to win?
I'm only winning myself.
No. But who are you picking?
I mean, I'm rooting for Lamar Jackson, of course. What do you think?
Let's go. Hell yeah. Big trust.
Come on, man.
Especially over Josh Allen.
Especially
over Josh Allen. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, that ain't no decision.
Yeah.
I like Lamar. can't root for the fucking Ravens. I can't do it.
No, I mean, I used to love the Ravens, man. I mean, I was a big Ray Lewis fan. Ed Reed, obviously, back in the day. Even though he's not better than Brian Dawkins. No, he isn't.
I don't like the oaf out of Wyoming.
You got the Andy Disciple Bowl. You got McDermott and Harbaugh.
And Harbaugh's the coach. Yeah, no, I'm definitely rooting for the Ravens without question.
What's the over/under on Harbaugh being mentioned as a special teams coordinator today? I think 2. A couple times at least.
3.
At least. Yeah. 2. I think 2. Yeah. I think the first time they punt. Yeah. Yeah.
Or if they fuck something up on special teams, that'll make John Harbaugh mad. He's a former special teams coordinator.
Yeah, no, exactly. If there's a special teams fuck up,
like
then
if Tucker
definitely
missed
3.
the kick.
Worse than that, it's got to be like a bad snap or like some blown.
A muff punt, something like that.
Yeah.
They'll probably
like someone runs out of their lane on kick coverage. Like
the first special team play that happens, they'll mention it, and then the next time
kickoff. The kickoff.
Happens, get it.
Yeah.
Right on first kickoff, they'll be like, John Harbaugh has got his unit out there.
Yeah. Will they show a picture? Will they show a picture of him in Eagles gear as a special teams coach?
You guys wish.
I'm taking that one.
I think they might give us one picture of him as an Eagle, as a special teams coach.
Because Andy's coaching tomorrow too. They'll be like, look, playoff dynamics.
For your
Andy
guys'
Reid,
sake, I hope they
blah blah blah.
The NFL doesn't want the Eagles. The NFL does not want the Eagles.
No, but they're going to show especially.
I'm just saying we get a picture of him with some Eagles gear on. That's all I'm saying.
You know what, Malk? I think it's going to happen if the Ravens take a big lead or it's clear they're going to win. They'll show the graphic like potentially next week, Andy Reid versus John Harbaugh, and then they would show like the 2000 championship game of them on the sidelines. That's how it'll happen.
Nah, they'll go with the Mahomes-Lamar graphic over that. Sorry, man.
Not when Andy's about to coach against one of his sons.
Yeah, not with Andy, because his coaches are always successful, unlike Belichick, because Belichick's a fucking idiot.
And his coaches are his real sons.
As long as it's a picture, of Andy with the face shield, I'm okay with it. As long as Andy's got the whole mask, I'm okay with it.
We know you don't want to see Kansas City in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, y'all, that face shield, Andy's been holding the play sheet up to his face like a face shield for years. So that ain't.
I know. Remember when he would always do like this call? He's like on the side.
That was
he should just have the lanyard to the face shield. He just has the face shield.
He might have it actually. Like I don't know,
like engraved.
What we see isn't what he sees. You know
exactly.
He's got like one of those digital scan things. Like his face shield is.
And he's playing chess, and we're playing checkers.
He's just got the Terminator vision on that.
I was going to say Terminator, but for play calling. Pete, let me ask you a question.
Come back here. What's up?
Pete, let me ask you a question. We know you don't want to see the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. How scared of you, if at all, are you of the Browns? Let's say the Browns pull the upset.
Pete, you got to tell him what you told me when we watched the game last week.
Well, I just don't like beating the Browns twice. That's the only thing. Oh, yes. So my team.
I mean, you guys are the only.
No. He's got a great Browns take.
It's like the Lions. Like when they suck, everybody's happier. I just want to give them a swirly over and over and over again, and I just want to take the Browns, their stupid little orange helmet, and shove it in the ground once, twice, again, and then so they just have to live with that. That's what I would love.
Garrett with his helmet.
That would be awesome.
Like you did to.
Okay, that's the end of my Browns take. But I just say that because I don't like that they're like pretending they're relevant now. It's like your little brother.
The Browns are back, man.
I mean, you are the Browns.
The Browns are in the playoffs.
There we go.
Whether you want them to be or not, bro.
The Browns are back. They were never there.
You talking about Jim Brown?
So are the Bills. I don't give a fuck. They're gonna lose by 30 today. Yes, that's true. Jim Brown. That was a while ago. All right.
No, that was a while ago.
That's my dad's favorite football player.
Yeah. Hey, also, fun fact about Jim Brown: he is the reason they invented the crease in lacrosse because they played at Syracuse. He used to run through the goalies and put in the goal. Fun fact.
Pete, I want you to do a shot at Evan for us.
Lax fact. I don't have Evan. I only have Ronas. I'm saving the liquor for game time. If I started drinking liquor right now, I would.
Yeah,
not
but
make
pull it out. The game's on soon. Come on.
No, I'm going to the store. I need to walk outside to get my steps in, bro. Chill.
Pete was ripping the gym last time.
Why are you wearing a hoodie? Isn't it like 80 degrees in Los Angeles right now?
It's pretty hot. I got the fan.
It's a sleeveless hoodie. It's my little hood. It's part of the jersey.
Oh, that's disgusting. You're wearing a sleeveless hoodie?
What the fuck?
You bet your ass I'm wearing a sleeveless hoodie because I am
gross.
fucking
That's gross.
aerodynamic like Lamar.
But don't you have sleeves on?
Aerodynamic, less weight, moves faster through the fucking hole.
All right.
What?
All right. Well, Pete, thank you for joining on. All right.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are.
Thanks for embarrassing yourself.
Yeah. Well, at least I'll do it before that way Lamar won't tonight. So I'll just take the embarrassment instead of Lamar.
All right, you got to call Spectrum and figure your internet shit out. Bro.
Yeah, I think the football gods were
Seems like
guys were interfering on that.
Firing against you.
That's all right. Whatever.
Yeah.
You guys have Walmart connection. See ya.
What?
A Walmart connection? That's the best you can come up with?
Bro, I don't know. I think Walmart probably has pretty secure shit. Like, I don't know. They're a major corporation.
Yeah, that's the family that
All right, but let's talk about those
Rams owner married into.
All right.
Should we talk about those new look Sixers?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sixers.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Oh shit. Excuse me. Yeah. Let's talk about the Sixers. The only team who deserves my love right now, to be honest. We look great so far, despite some of the early meddlings of Adam Silver. But Doc Rivers looks like the real deal. He's got Tobias back, and he's got Embiid. Nice. He's got Embiid looking like those workout videos against 5'9" white dudes. He's got him looking like that again. And Tyrese Maxey might allow us to win, even with Ben Simmons never fulfilling his potential, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, because dude can score.
He can do it all, man. He can just play basketball. Like he's just gonna keep getting better and better. I mean, Maxey should have been like a top 10 pick.
You know what? Well,
like,
for sure.
He fell egregiously far. It's
also
slide so far.
Isaiah Joe just shooting threes nonstop.
I mean, we drafted him at 21.
Why did he slide to 21 though?
I don't know.
Wasn't there a reason Track say something in the group chat about like there was a question like with his like shooting percentage or something like that?
Yeah, he didn't shoot well from 3 in college.
Regardless, we got a steep.
So his last
and
season,
it was just a weird season. Yeah. It's a weird season to judge players on.
Like, Maxey had like 36 points the other night.
And he's a great free throw shooter. So that's usually a better indication of.
That was the game when we had everybody out. The first game when we had everybody out.
Yeah, when there was like 6.
Yeah,
they had to
that was a COVID game.
He had COVID.
Like Maxey gets his first shot.
Well, no, Mike Scott had a bum ankle, but they made him dress.
I thought he was part of
8 players.
Oh, I thought he was also part of the tracing.
Mm-hmm. But it was still ridiculous.
Bullshit.
Maxey,
because they've been canceling so many games. I mean,
Rams touchdown.
Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
Rams touchdown.
That game's over though. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
25-17.
I mean, what's the score now? 35-17?
Well, I'm going to see. No, it's 25, and if they're going to go for 2, it'll be 18.
So it's a
25-18. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But they still got to give the ball back to Aaron Rodgers.
Third quarter, though.
Yeah. No, it's plenty of time left.
It's not over. Yeah, and of course, the most Sixers thing is their one national game, like on TNT this year, they were just total ass. Like the worst game they played. Yeah, like my daddy's like, I watched 5 minutes. I turned it off. Same old Sixers. I was like, yeah, it was their worst game they played.
More like
what game was that? Who did we play?
Who was that the other night? It was one that they lost badly. Oh, they got the 2
points.
It
was Brooklyn. It was Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The old look Nets.
Yeah, with no KD and Kyrie.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were on the second night of a back-to-back. we were playing with 7 guys.
I mean, Jack Redacted said same old Sixers. I would say same old Ben Simmons, because that's what I was pissed about watching that game, is that Ben Simmons avoids contact, will not take the ball 2 hands to the dish. He is 6'10", 240.
Dude, how many layups and dunks does he pass out of?
Yeah. No, my issue is how many times he passes out of clear shot attempts 3 feet away from the rim. And it's like, bro, you're right there, and you are big as shit. Like, just dunk the ball.
Put your shoulder into somebody, create a little space you need in the paint, and then just bounce.
It's so crazy because, like,
he does that. Ever.
He's right there. He's right there. He did shoot another 3 the other night, which was cool, but just his general, it's more than a reluctancy. It's like, I don't know. It's like a
defiance. Like, you want me to do it, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's like he's too much of a gamer. He's too much of a Fortnite.
Like, I'm gonna do it my way, you know.
Yeah, he's trying to troll everybody.
The fact you even said he shot another 3 and that was cool. It's like that's like Ben's little card. Like when he wants to like play to the fans, shoot a 3. Like, see, I do care.
It's not about that. It's just about being aggressive. Like, just when you catch the ball, look at the rim.
Yeah.
Just, you know, he's so frustrating. But
it's like, Ben, we know you're a dank passer. You don't have to pass nonstop.
Here's the thing that I've resided with.
He needs to shoot 4 mid-range J's a game. He needs to shoot the 15.
But he's not going to.
But he's not going to. He needs to shoot from the elbow he needs to just pull up at the elbow when he gets the ball.
Here's the thing.
He never does it.
It's fine. If he doesn't want to do it, because of the emergence of Maxey, I don't even care anymore if he never does it.
He's and like Pete Toby too.
Here's the condition though. Here's the condition. His status is like face of the franchise, you know, second best player on the team, and kind of things acquiescing to him. Those days are over. Like, if you want to just be super Draymond, you can do that, and that's how you'll be treated. I mean, I already see Doc adjusting the game plan. He had been off the ball more than I've ever seen him in his entire NBA career in the last game. So, like, and I'm sure we're going to see more of it tonight because Embiid isn't playing. So, I don't know. I think Ben is going to be in the midst of a transition to, like, genuinely a role player, and we'll see how he handles that.
A max deal.
You know, that kind of demotion. Maybe it'll ignite a fire in him to get his act together, or maybe he'll just accept being, you know, the second tier player on the team.
I don't
because it'll be Embiid and Maxey. It'll be Embiid, Maxey, and Tobias, and Ben will just be the glue guy. And I
don't see him accepting that role as the glue guy. I would expect him in that scenario to pull a Wentz.
He forces that role. No.
No, I could see him.
He forces that role.
He could get his.
That is the game that is the game he's intent on playing. Like, that's what he does.
He can get his 10, 14, and 12 that way every night.
Yeah, that's literally what he
wants to do.
I'm just saying, like, as far as like it being called your team, like, those days are over.
But
that's all I'm saying.
But that's the thing that I'm saying. I think he wants that more than he actually wants to play well and win games. He wants to be the face of the franchise and be a hoe and be the LA dude. He's got too much of this shit going on. He doesn't want to actually win.
I agree.
Games. So regardless of how his role shapes up in the future, he probably won't be happy with it mentally. And we'll probably end up trading him.
Who gives a fuck when he's your third or fourth best player and you're winning? Who cares? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do that, if you never want to take that next step to truly becoming a superstar, that's fine, because we got Embiid who's there, and we got Maxey who clearly wants it and has the ability to get there.
And we have shooters.
So, like,
we have Danny Green.
And we got shooters.
Curry.
So you can still look good and play your game and just never evolve. And it's fine. You can be stubborn. You won, Ben.
Yeah, and
as long as we keep winning, it doesn't matter.
And then Ben will have the occasional 35 game, and it's like, oh, Ben Simmons looking to score, and then he'll go have a 6-point game with 20 assists just to be like, fuck you.
Right. And, you know, as long as we keep winning, it's fine. It's just like, you are super Draymond now, though.
Or super Rondo, because Draymond at least shoots threes. Rondo wouldn't even. Like, it's
more Draymond though, because Ben rebounds. He plays excellent defense. Like, he does a lot of things that you need to win.
Peak Rondo rebounded and played defense.
Not like this guy, bro.
Not
This
like
guy, he guards
Yeah,
1
because
through
they're
5.
different sizes. He's closer to Draymond's size.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the role,
and he's even bigger than Draymond. He's a
But I
much
mean-
better athlete. He's like a super athlete. I mean, it's
Regardless-
just disappointing because of what he could obviously be.
Yeah. But regardless of where Ben Simmons is right now, we have to give Daryl Morey a bunch of credit because
Yeah,
it's amazing. Look what happens when you build a roster around your two best players. Forget two, your one best player, Joel Embiid. Look what happens when you build a roster to complement what he is good at. Now that we have shooters, now that we have guys who can space the offense out in the half court and let Embiid do his thing, he's unstoppable in the paint.
and it helps when that superstar wants to be great and works on the weaknesses in his game.
Remember 2 or 3
Because-
years ago when Embiid would get double teamed and he didn't know what to do with the ball?
And it was an automatic
He worked on
turnover.
that shit, and now he's one of the
And
best.
now
He's so
now
good.
he's like deadly.
Double team.
Exactly. Exactly. So you need both. I mean, Ben just doesn't really want it, because like for shooting to be the only deficiency in your game, there's only one way to get better at shooting. It's just repetition. It's literally just going into a gym and just shooting over and over and over.
like
and
you
over.
can have
like
you don't have to have perfect
And-
form. If you can perfect your
Right.
fucked up form,
if it's a
then that's
repeated
fine.
shot that you've practiced over and over, you will get better at it. And for us to be in year 4 or 5 now, and there's still no improvement, he's clearly not working on it. Like clearly.
More of a mental thing, but that mental thing, I think, like you said, like you got to practice that so that you feel comfortable with it, so that it's just natural. Because that's what Embiid has done.
Yeah.
Honestly, here's the thing. Jimmy Butler, we've talked about this before. Jimmy Butler has that dog personality where he just wants to win and he's got that mental toughness. It's clear that his 1 year, not even 1 year, half a season on the Sixers had way more of an impact on Embiid than it did on Simmons.
Well, yeah, because Ben was pushed.
Simmons took that
Right.
little brush with that gene, that Jimmy Butler gene, and said, I am going to work on bringing that to my game. And he did it. And we're seeing it on the court night after night. And Ben Simmons clearly is not doing that. Clearly.
Right. Yeah.
But-
No, I mean Embiid clearly wants to be great, and he will be great because of that.
Well, he
And Ben
always
Simmons
said,
just says he wants to be great.
yeah, Embiid's always like, I should be MVP. I should be Defensive Player of the Year. He's like, I'm the best player in the league. Ben
Right.
Another criticism.
Ben
of the
looks
set,
like he
Embiid
could be
in
the
past
best player in the league.
Embiid in past seasons, we would see him play really well in the first half, and then we'd see him take his foot off the gas in the third quarter, and then he'd be gassed by the fourth quarter. Track said this in the group chat. How many times have we seen Embiid? The fourth quarter comes around and he just looks tired.
Right.
And
But this
now-
year, he's just, no.
and I don't think he's any better conditioned than he has been. I think he knows how to
Well-
manage his effort a little bit better, so
It's-
that by the
I
fourth
think-
quarter, he's
I agree.
He's Joel Embiid.
I agree that
Embiid.
like he might be in a little bit better of condition, but
I
like
think he has to
just
be to have the better
Of
stamina
course.
he's had.
but he's getting to his spots, and like he's not out on the perimeter fucking dribbling and being a guard and
Right.
being encouraged to shoot 10 threes a game and do things that his body is not equipped to do. Like it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that.
Harden didn't get his first bucket till the second quarter.
Brett Brown was such a cancer on this team.
He just scored on a Euro step.
I gotta say, Malk, like, I knew you were right. All those when Brett Brown used to be the coach, he used to be harping on him. The listeners obviously know about all that shit, but I got to give you credit. Like, it really, the person
It's
obviously
very noticeable.
having Danny Green and Seth Curry on the team, big difference. But how many times under Brett Brown, like you just said, did we see Embiid coming over the top and playing as a guard and getting the ball with space at the 3-point line? There's no
Let
reason
me ask you this.
playing that.
How many times have you seen the Sixers score out of a timeout this year? Damn near every fucking time.
Every time.
Brett Brown used to call plays out of a timeout and we get a shot clock violation. It happened a lot. It happened a lot. Yo, like it happened a lot. Damn near every play out of a timeout this year.
Yeah, the ball
Like-
movement has been better. The spacing has been better.
We have We went from having the worst coach in the NBA, like I used to say, the worst coach in the NBA, to like a fucking legendary coach, like a Hall of Fame coach.
The fact that Brett Brown is not currently employed by an NBA franchise,
he will never be a head coach again, though, in the NBA.
Well, he's getting paid by the Sixers to not work, so he doesn't have to.
Yeah, he's getting paid this year by us.
But still, if you love coaching basketball, you would go find a
or you take a year off and be with your family. I don't take that an indictment on a person to take a year off.
I mean, I would take a year off. I would take a couple years off if I were him. But I'm set coaching job in the NBA again. I guarantee it. He'll get an assistant job maybe somewhere, but he'll never be a head coach again. He's not smart enough. Sorry.
Well, that will be seen. We will see how the record stands.
His connection to Ben Simmons, like, meant a lot in those early years. In like Ben Simmons' development,
it held Ben back. It held Ben back so much, in my opinion, and it almost permanently poisoned Joel Embiid's basketball mind. But Doc has done an excellent job of reversing some of
also, Embiid has the mental toughness to not let that poison his game.
Well, I was going to say, I think everybody in Ben's life has held Ben back, because him even going to LSU is holding. It's like you went there because like your uncle or whoever was on the staff, and like you knew you could just do what you wanted.
And you knew you'd be a one and done player, so you went there.
Yeah, it didn't matter to you. You didn't want to be challenged at Duke or North Carolina or Kansas or whatever.
That's the big
and you went to like Shaq. It was great with Shaq, but it's like that's not really a basketball school,
bro. That's the big difference with Ben and Embiid. Ben Simmons does not want to be challenged. Ben Simmons wants to be a Fortnite gamer and date Kendall Jenner and run around and be a hoe.
Yeah, he just wants the glitz and glamour.
Embiid gets called out by Shaquille O'Neal on national television and elevates his game and says, "I embrace that challenge."
And this was a one and done player that just like had never played basketball.
Yep. Sure was. Embiid was also a one and done. Let's keep that in mind.
And he never played basketball before he was like 16.
Right. He was a whole year and a half into basketball by that point.
Bro, I bet Embiid and Jimmy Butler are still. I bet they talk.
Of course.
Even though I'm not mad that Jimmy Butler is no longer on our team.
No, that's fine. It was cool they got to the finals.
Yeah, because they're going to be back to earth.
It's also fine too that if Doc can get this out of Toby, then his contract is not ass. Like Tobias is really good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we also
Ben just I don't know. So. I'm banking on Ben becoming a little jealous of Tyrese Maxey and maybe like starting to shoot more because of that. Maybe that will happen.
Or be like
play point guard.
Or be like an early like Pippen where he couldn't really shoot, but at least he would dunk. He'd go to the fucking rim.
Yes.
Yeah. Just be mean, like play angry.
Yeah, like play hard-nosed defense as you can, run the point, and fucking just go to the rim.
Right.
Like try and dunk on people the way they try you, man.
Right. When he gets the ball anywhere,
that he
like
won't dunk
I was Ben
like
Simmons, where like people were always like testing me and pushing me on the court, and I'm big enough to just like demoralize you like that, bro. I'm seeking you out. Like, I don't even have to have a good game as long as I fucking dunk on you.
And that's the thing. Dunks don't always look pretty. Demoralizing other players doesn't always look pretty, but Ben's too worried about looking pretty. He's too worried about what Kendall Jenner is going to think of his fucking game, or whoever, not just Kendall, but whoever. He's worried. He's on some shit. And Embiid is like, you're not pretty, but I'm going to fucking jam you.
Man, Embiid is a father now.
Papa Joe.
He understands.
Doing it for his children.
There's tears.
Doing it for Arthur's legacy, too.
Yo, real shit, man. Like, Ben just... The thing is, there's no point in trading him now. You can't trade Ben now, though, because of that Harden trade.
Let's see how this season works out.
Until the Nets, like, break apart, like, I'm just saying, for this season, we're trying to win this year, you cannot trade Ben now.
So let's talk about
like that. Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal will not make us better.
Yeah, as we
They
see,
won't.
Bradley Beal can score 60 points and still lose
I don't
the
want
game.
Bradley Beal. I don't know why that's even become a talking point. I would much rather have Zach LaVine, but
We should already have Zach LaVine,
but
whatever.
But so Harden, we
Everyone,
haven't talked
Dario
about that. Harden went to Nets.
to Brooklyn.
It was between Brooklyn and us. And apparently they wanted Maxey and Simmons. Thank God we didn't do that.
And Matisse.
And Matisse?
And the pick, yeah.
Yeah,
It was like a laughable deal. I'm pretty sure the Rockets owner and Morey have beef, so I don't think that trade was ever going to happen.
They do. And Fertitta's
don't like each
broke.
other.
Fertitta's broke as like a broke billionaire. He's like he doesn't want to spend any money. So that's why they got all those. That's why they got those billion picks too. They got like a Billy King amount of picks.
No, it's exactly like the last deal the Nets made that did not work. So,
I mean,
Kyrie is about to tank that shit. And you know, KD is on a 1-1 deal, so KD can opt out after the season.
Those are all players with the ball in their hands. How's that going to work?
Man,
even though your Harden's usage went down based on what it had been. He's still a guy who needs. I'm
truly less worried about the Nets now that they have Harden. I know that sounds crazy. How
many picks did they trade?
It's like 4 picks and like 4 swaps.
It was 4 firsts.
And they traded Jared Allen and Karis LeVert.
Yeah.
Like they now have no bench depth.
Was a part of that deal? I didn't know that.
They now have no bench depth, and they don't have Jared Allen anymore. They only have DeAndre Jordan. So once Embiid gets him into early foul trouble, who comes in and guards Embiid?
Jeff Green.
Like they put Jeff Green on him, then he gets in foul trouble, and they put Durant on him? Like seriously.
Yeah, no, really.
So they're even less equipped to like beat us specifically. But now you need Ben on the team to make it hard on Kevin Durant. So like can't trade Ben now.
Even before the trade, Kyrie was just like, "Nah, I don't want to play right now." Like,
Kyrie's. I honestly applaud what Kyrie's doing.
I respect what Kyrie.
Yeah, I'm not against what he's doing, but like
another podcast.
He already didn't seem invested.
I'm glad it's not my team. Glad it's not my team. But I'm not that mad at Kyrie, to be honest.
I'm not mad. It's just like, so now you got Harden and Kyrie and Durant, and Kyrie's just like, well, I'm not really fully invested this season anyways.
And he wasn't on board with the Steve Nash hiring, which is funny because like I said my grievances about that shit when it happened, and apparently Kyrie felt the same way.
Just a white guy like, oh yeah, you get the job.
It's just not gonna work. Like they just became so much worse on defense, and now you're asking Steve Nash to teach them how to play defense.
He's never played defense in his life, and then
who always used to lose.
Mike D'Antoni.
Steve Nash used to lose because he played for D'Antoni, who didn't play defense.
Yeah, and
so that's who's supposed to teach them defense. That's who's going to teach them how to stop Embiid.
And Stoudemire, another assistant coach.
And Stoudemire's there.
Who never played defense in his life.
Come on, yo. Come on. It's just they might, to go through the East, they gotta presumably go through Giannis at some point and Brook Lopez.
Sixers.
Then us, and then to like the defending champs is AD and LeBron. So how do you deplete your interior presence like that and expect to win? It's not gonna work.
No. Do we play 82 games this season? I know the season
72.
72. So they did that so that the finals and the playoffs and everything will still line up when it normally does, right? Like April, May.
I think so, and to give them more days off because it was
because I kind of last season, obviously with COVID and everything, that was kind of crazy. But I really love
this season with COVID though.
I love how the NBA playoffs and finals usually land around late spring, early summer. That's a great time to have the NBA playoffs on. I feel like it was a little too last season. It was a little too muddled. There was they
showed a graphic. It was the other day. It was like the Lakers had 86 days off from the last season. The Warriors had like 217 days off.
Well, there are a lot of games left to be played, but there are a lot of really promising signs for the Sixers for sure. If we had to predict right now, how much what seed we're in.
I mean, we're at the top of the East right now, right?
No.
I think we're
Boston,
definitely.
No.
But well, they're 3. They're below. For whatever reason, they're not tied with Milwaukee. They're 3, even though they have the same record. And Boston is in first, but they played less games. They just have a better winning percentage. I looked at it today.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
They're 9-4.
Let's wrap up our Sixers talk. Let's move on to just real briefly the 2 less relevant Phillies teams. The Philadelphia Phillies, who finally offered JT Realmuto, the best catcher in
Thank
baseball, his damn money. Pay him so that I can buy his jersey. Please pay him.
They did get lucky that the market did not bear in his favor, because it
5 years, $100 million.
Well,
yeah,
they
they were
already
asking
offered
to lose him.
so some insider info. His agent team is wanting him to be paid like one of the best players in baseball, and the Phillies are saying we'll pay you as the best catcher in baseball, and they're pushing really hard for him to get like 180, 200 million.
Offensive players in baseball.
He's one of the best. He is the best catcher, and he's one of the better players in baseball. But
position defensively,
the fact that
180 is a lot. 180 is a lot.
The fact that the Yankees re-signed DJ LeMahieu, and he's a great hitter. He's a second baseman, but there was talk they were going to move Gary Sanchez to DH and then sign Realmuto if they didn't keep LeMahieu to keep up their hitting. But they kept LeMahieu, and there's not really any more teams on the market for Realmuto. There's the Astros, but they'd have to give up a draft pick to get him, and they already gave up draft pick. Well, the Mets signed a catcher from the White Sox, James McCann. He had a really good year last year. And the Astros would have to give up a draft pick, and they already gave up draft picks for being cheating assholes. So they're not going to want to give up more draft picks. So it's really in the Phillies market right now to keep JT. And they also, Dombrowski is keeping an eye on Didi Gregorius. They're looking at like a 2 or 3 year deal.
Was it $100 million? What was the offer? I heard it was 5 years, $100 million. Was it more than that?
It was 5 years over $100 million, but not like a ton over $100 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like the fact that they even made him an offer is probably a good thing. They'll probably work it out.
They made him a 5-year, $100 million offer in March.
Probably a matter of time for the signing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we're also interested in getting Didi Gregorius an extension, which
they were looking at keeping him.
We have such a great lineup. Literally last season, the only issue that we really had in terms of taking that next step as an organization was our bullpen.
And they signed Archie Bradley from the Diamondbacks, who's a pretty good bullpen guy.
Hold the lead, so
hopefully Dombrowski is known for building teams up quickly. He's not known for he's not known for sustained success, but he's known for building teams up quickly.
I read the article about how his whole hiring came together over time, and it didn't seem like it was going to happen.
Yeah, and they had to convince him, but he built up those Tigers teams that were good with Verlander and Cabrera, and he built up that Red Sox team that won in 2013.
So we'll see. Spring training's right around the corner, so we'll see.
Yeah, and the Flyers they're 2-0. They beat the Penguins in both their games because fuck the Penguins. The Penguins are a bunch of fucking
Sidney Crosby's
fucks.
Sidney Crosby's a bitch.
What's the Flyers? Are we supposed to be good again this year? What's the deal?
Yeah, they're supposed to be good again.
2-0. And who are both?
Also, one thing that was great was Jake Voracek on the Flyers. He was asked a question by Mike Sealski, and he's like, "It doesn't matter what I say because you just write that shit anyways. No matter what I say, you're such a weasel. It's not even funny." It's so good. He just owned him.
Called him a weasel.
You just owned him.
Philly sports media, man. They do a lot. They do a lot.
They be doing a lot.
Constantly.
All right. So
wait. One final item.
Yeah, I was gonna say before we wrap
up.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, there is one final item. That's true.
This is the biggest.
One of us three is a champion in our fantasy league.
It is time to name, finally, to coronate the champion of our fantasy league, Malcolm Hill, the haters.
Hate.
Congratulations.
The haters prospered. Hate will set you free. My team. Yeah, I kind of. It's funny because we got off to a bit of a rough start and
gave up.
I was content to not win it this year, but like the universe tends to do, when you stop searching for something, it finds you.
And you beat Matt Retracted.
You beat Matt.
I beat them all. I know, but
everyone
that they threw in my way.
The ultimate.
I'm still standing. I'm still strong.
Ultimate Sisyphus moment for Retracted is that he got to the finals again and did not win. And it was because his first round pick got hurt.
He's
really the Bills
in the championship game.
Christian McCaffrey fucked him so hard.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
Respect Retracted.
Listen,
that's my man too.
Tract is a competitor, and I love that shit. I beat his ass in the last week of the regular season to secure the bye, and then he beat me in the playoffs only because Keenan Allen decided to be injured. It really should have been me and you in the championship game. That's all right.
No, you didn't play the right people, man. Yeah, come on. You left a lot of points on.
You're gonna sit Keenan Allen, even if
you also had Hunter Henry, and he had a.
It wasn't just Keenan Allen. You had a bunch of points on the bench.
Yeah, you had like 89 points on the bench, and Retracted just beat you.
Hang on. I had two of the.
The man can't spell, but respect to him.
Can I speak? I had two of the only tight ends worth starting, TJ Hawkinson and Hunter Henry. Hawkinson had been putting up at least 15, 20 points for me week after week after week after week. And of course, in the playoffs, he catches like one fucking ball and Hunter Henry goes off because Keenan Allen was on a snap count reduction. Look, I'm not saying that I didn't make the right choices, but that's just how the fantasy gods choose to shake it all out. It's probably a good thing for the league that I didn't win a third championship. So,
it's a great thing.
Congratulations to Malcolm. I got to say,
yeah, it is great. Thank you.
Playoffs started and there were 6 teams.
Being that this is the first league that we've done keeper,
I thought it would be me, Whaley, or Tract. So
being that this is a keeper league, this is kind of the first real chip. So I do take some pride in that.
I don't know that at all.
But yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Per the Constitution,
10 remaining members, you wrote a fucking Constitution this year.
But he wrote in that all previous chips count because he wants to keep bragging.
He wrote in that. He wrote that in there. That's hilarious.
It's at the very bottom. All previous chips are valid.
I mean, everyone understands that's bullshit, and that this is the first. This is the first real one. And it does feel good that it does feel good for the first legitimate championship to live somewhere. You know, everything before this was just NFL championships. This was the first Super Bowl, so you know it does feel good. It does feel good
also,
knowing that
I got the first bowl. Our friend Kay, who came in dead last and gets the F word award.
Kay is the F word.
The F word.
That name will never be spoken again on this pod.
No.
But
we'll say fuck, but we won't say the F word.
Redacted.
No, we don't say the F word.
It's your time now, bro, because there are 3 people on this podcast and 2 of them are fantasy champions. So where are you at? That's all I'm saying.
Well, I've won championships in my life, so don't get twisted.
Not in the LA Temple alumni.
No, but I am currently competing for a fantasy basketball title against former rival Kevin Lipton. So
the greatest one in our league.
Definitely wish Lipton much misfortune in that league.
Also, my name trolls Lipton. It is the photo of him and Brooke Hogan shopping, and my team name is Hogan's Heroes. And he told me every time he sees my team name, he laughs because he's like, it's so good. Because fuck that.
Hogan's Heroes.
That bitch keeps trying to trade.
Takes pride in it.
Yeah, he keeps trying to take Giannis from me. Not going to do it.
All right.
Shout out to my brother taking his LSAT right now. We believe
Hopefully he nails that shit. That's not an easy thing.
He will nail it.
Right. Well, we'll be back. We got to do this again very soon. You know, there was a bit of a hiatus, but shit's been crazy. You know, shit's been
real crazy. We didn't even get into what's going on in the country.
Yeah, the world's ending, guys.
We'll save that for the next episode. Folks, we wanted to give y'all something lighthearted and whimsical.
Folks, we did have a president sponsor our podcast, folks.
Vaccine, folks.
Scranton's coming to the White House, folks.
We got a president with early onset dementia in the building. And but you know, at least we got an AKA in there.
I can't handle more tragedy, folks.
All right. Well, yo. So what we're saying is the listenership, you're welcome.
Bye.
Peace.
Yeah. My aunt was AKA. Peace.
Adios. Bye.